Though closed to the public and confidential by law, another Missouri House Ethics Committee hearing this afternoon provided more evidence that the committee is in fact investigating House Speaker Dean Plocher. First, Columbia Representative David Tyson Smith has replaced fellow Democrat Richard Brown on the ethics panel after Brown recused himself. Now that's significant because Brown, like Plocher, is a candidate for lieutenant governor, presenting a conflict of interest. Second, there is now a formal complaint filed with the committee, something which was not the case when the panel met October 27th.
I move that the Committee on Ethics go to closed session to discuss House Ethics Complaint HEC 23-01 and personal inquiry.
Plocher has come under scrutiny for firing his chief of staff, who may have had whistleblower protection over a spending matter, and for getting reimbursed for travel expenses he personally had not incurred. A number of state lawmakers, including some Republicans, have called for him to lose the speakership, if not be forced out of the legislature entirely. Hannah Kelly could not confirm for reporters whether there would be another Ethics Committee hearing before lawmakers return to the Capitol in January. And in a side note, Dean Plocher's legal counsel has resigned. House officials will not say why, but Julia Baker's departure comes on the heels of Plocher's dismissal of Chief of Staff Kenny Ross and questions about Plocher's unsuccessful attempts to push through the purchase of an $800,000 software program without bidding. For a second time in nearly 4 years, Planned Parenthood is back before the Missouri Supreme Court to argue against the state over a blockade on funding. The challenge is over the legislature's use of the appropriations process to keep the Women's Health Agency from getting any state money.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye.
In 2020, the Supreme Court said the legislature had played an unconstitutional game. Lawmakers had appropriated Medicaid money through MoHealthNet for services to low-income people, with language that specifically excluded Planned Parenthood, which at the time provided abortions in Missouri.
Page 13 of the Circuit Court's opinion, it said nothing in these two statutes establishes that petitioners are entitled to participate in MoHealthNet.
In 2021, after the Supreme Court said an appropriations law cannot be used to amend a general statute requiring the inclusion of all qualified service providers, lawmakers tried a new approach. They included Planned Parenthood in the Medicaid appropriations bill, but with $0 allotted.
We're back again. I mean, here we go again with a long line of cases.
Now, even though abortion no longer is legal in Missouri, Planned Parenthood seeks Medicaid reimbursements for birth control, cancer screenings, and other medical care.
Under their rule, the legislature could no longer use appropriations to prioritize facilities in urban areas, facilities in rural areas, facilities in low-income areas, or even facilities with demonstrated safety records. Instead, the legislature would be limited to a binary choice: fund everything or fund nothing. This would gut the most important tool of policy that the legislature has.
The court now must decide the question of whether a $0 or $1 appropriation satisfies the legal requirements for inclusion, something that could impact the state budgeting process well beyond Planned Parenthood.
Government funding, it's essential to make sure people have access to care, and we're going to fight for our patients' rights to get that care.
The Attorney General's office wants the court to overrule Cole County Judge John Beadham because Planned Parenthood did not pursue remedy through the administrative law court.